From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, it's hard to believe after today that we've got this storm system, a winter-like storm system that's knocking on our door. It'll be here by tonight, tomorrow. And we're going to be noticing some big changes from what we saw today and really over the last few days. So the warming trend I've been talking about, it peaks today. All right, so it's going to be gorgeous out there this afternoon. But we're going to see about a 15, 20 plus degree drop in a matter of 24 hours. And it's not going to warm up a whole lot. In fact, cool off more even in some cases on Sunday before we do see a gradual increase in our temperatures next week. But we've got the rain, thunderstorms this weekend with mountain snow. And as I mentioned, drier and warmer going through next week. So for the rest of the day today, your quick neighborhood at a glance could see some showers for the North Coast, in particular Del Norte and northern Humboldt counties later on, late afternoon, early evening. And of course, it continues to push through tonight, and everyone looking at that wet weather by early tomorrow morning. All right, so here's what to expect tonight through Sunday morning. Heavy rain at times. Now, I think the main event will be tomorrow morning. It's going to be earlier for the coast and then later in the morning for the eastern mountains. It'll kind of push through from west to east. Now, I also expect snow levels to drop through Saturday morning, and it's going to have an impact on your mountain travel. We're also going to be looking at the potential for thunderstorms, especially for tomorrow afternoon. And with those thunderstorms, you're talking about the potential for heavy downpours, gusty winds, frequent lightning, and on top of that, maybe some hail too. And along the cold front, gusty winds, and with the thunderstorms, the potential for those gusty winds as well. So a lot of elements with this storm to talk about. And when you look at it, yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. You can see the big swirl of low pressure right here. You can see the speckled clouds indicating that winter-like system where you see the colder air that's kind of coming in behind the main cold front. And we've got a nice little stream of tap of moisture to come into, and that's going to allow us to see some decent rainfall out of this. I want to mention this because the Storm Prediction Center yesterday was only forecasting this area right here to potentially see thunderstorms on Saturday. I wasn't agreeing with that. And then here I was thinking it was going to look much more like what we're seeing here for your Saturday. So I do expect to see a good chance for thunderstorms for everyone, but probably best chances will be in the valley. All right, so let's walk you through the timing of it all. Looking at the latest forecast model data. There's the cold front. There's the main band of rain, 5 p.m. today. Del Norte County, Crescent City, you could be looking at some showers here by the late afternoon, early evening, maybe even northern Humboldt County. Some prefrontal showers trying to develop in parts of Siskiyou County, but for the most part, most of it is just hitting the coast. We go into 10 o'clock tonight. Now we're seeing the heavier rainfall kind of making its way into the coast. We could see some light showers. Now, a lot of this may evaporate before reaching the ground. The atmosphere has been very dry, and so we've got to saturate that atmosphere first. So a lot of these lighter showers that come in first are going to have a hard time reaching the ground. But eventually, we're going to be looking at a saturated atmosphere. Here you can see 6,000 foot plus with those snow levels. You look at this, and the only snow that's being detected, Mount Shasta, on top of Mount Shasta, the mountain itself, right? So again, we're only going into 10 o'clock tonight at this point. All right, now we take you into Saturday, 5 a.m. So through late tonight, early tomorrow morning, look at all of the rain. Almost all of Northern California is within that band of heavy rainfall. El Tourist just getting in on some of the rain. Susanville as well, not to mention probably around Portola. But as we go through the overnight hours, we're going to be looking at steady rain, moderate to heavy at times, along with gusty winds for the coast, Trinity County, the valley, and of course making its way into parts of the eastern mountains. Through the early morning hours, we're also going to start to see snow levels begin to drop, 3,000 to 3,500 feet. Now, I want you to take a look at the mountain highways. Here's I-5 going through Siskiyou County, all in the form of rain. You have to go up pretty high. Even Highway 299 looks like it's going to be all in the form of rain. but it's getting borderline there in Highway 36, right? So we're starting to see those snow levels begin to drop. Again, we're only at Saturday morning at 5 a.m. Here's 10 a.m. All right, now we're seeing the potential for some of that snow kind of hitting maybe 299, maybe around Buckhorn Summit, maybe Oregon Mountain, maybe Berry Summit. But what we're looking at 10 a.m. is now, as we go into the mid-morning hours, we're kind of tapering off to some light showers for the valley. We're kind of on the back edge of the storm system. This is now where the heaviest rainfall is in the eastern mountains. And then the cold and unstable air behind it. So we could be looking at thunderstorms even tomorrow morning for the north coast. And look at the heavy snow we're seeing in the mountains. We're going to start seeing chain requirements Saturday morning over the higher mountain passes. Saturday, 2 p.m., that's tomorrow, we're seeing the scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, not everyone is going to see thunderstorms, right? But if you get caught under one of those thunderstorms, it's what I was just talking about. Heavy rainfall, gusty winds, lightning, and the potential for hail. And not to mention maybe the potential for some chain requirements as well. Okay, now we go into Saturday, 6 p.m. Now it's mainly in the snow. We're starting to see the rain. But I still think even Saturday evening, there may be a stray shower or even thunderstorm for parts of the valley before it really tapers off Saturday night, and mainly looking at those snow flurries in the higher elevations. Snow levels at their lowest will be 2,500 to 3,000 feet, especially Saturday night into Sunday. But by the time we get into Saturday night and Sunday, the heaviest snow will have gone. And then taking you through the day on Sunday, a few scattered snow flurries in the higher elevations, some showers here and there, mainly dry in the valley for your Sunday. North end of the valley around Redding may see a brief sprinkle here and there on Sunday, but overall dry conditions for the valley. All right, we got you through the timing of that, right? Now let's take a look at the forecast rain totals. And again, when you look at these totals, most of what you see here is going to be late tonight and tomorrow morning. Again, we'll probably tack on a little bit more on this as these thunderstorms pass through in some areas, but you get the idea. I think on average, about an inch of rainfall for parts of the valley, give or take, depending on where you are. You can also see some fairly impressive amounts for the higher elevations, and of course, where we're seeing most of the rainfall, surprise, surprise, the north coast. No big surprises there. All right, winter weather advisory. Now, it's only for a small window for Trinity, Western Siskiyou, Del Norte, and Humboldt counties, right? It is a winter weather advisory basically for Saturday morning, for tomorrow morning, for elevations above 2,500 feet. Now, what does that tell you? Now, Hayfork, Weaverville, you're at about 2,000 foot elevation, approximately, give or take, here and there. Could you see a mix in Hayfork, maybe Weaverville? Sure, maybe, not out of the question. Could we see accumulating snow? Probably not. All right, then we have a winter weather advisory east of the valley from 11 a.m. Saturday, but it goes all the way until 8 a.m. on Sunday. This is for mainly elevations above 3,500 feet. So as you go above 3,000, 4,000 feet, I think that's where we're going to see the biggest concerns. Around 4,000 feet, give or take, really, is where I think we'll see the biggest concerns. All right, here's the snow forecast totals. I don't think we're going to see accumulating snow Weaverville, Hayfork. Don't think it's going to happen. Too low of elevation. Etna, same situation. Maybe a mix out towards Wairika. Maybe a small amount of snow around Mount Shasta City. That's going to be borderline. Again, 3,500 feet. Dunsmuir, probably not. Maybe a light dusting, maybe a bit of a mix. But Bernie, Fall River Mills, maybe some light snow as well as Alturas. Maybe a little bit more in Chester, and not to mention the Portola area. But bottom line, these mountain communities, if you see any snow, it's not going to be a ton, and it will melt very quickly going into your Sunday. So when you see these totals through Sunday, it's going to be mainly on Saturday, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and then it really tapers off, and then a lot of it will melt going into Sunday afternoon. Storm impacts, you'll notice Highway 299, yeah, we're getting a little bit in the gray there, which is the limited. So is it out of the question for us to see some slick roads due to snow on Highway 299 west of Redding? Not out of the question. Buckhorn Summit, Berry Summit, and Oregon Mountain, right? And then, of course, we can't forget about Highway 3, looking at Scott Mountain. Where we're going to see, I think, the biggest impact, east of I-5, those higher mountain passes there, not to mention on Cedar Pass as well, on Highway 299. I-5, all right, maybe as you get into those higher elevations, say around Weed and heading northward. But overall, I think it should be okay. Highway 89, yeah, maybe around Snowman Summit. Could be looking at some issues. Sunday, conditions, as you can see, will improve. All right, let's talk about those winds real quickly. And you can see as the main cold front passes, as we go into tonight, there's 5 a.m., the main cold front is passing through the valley, gusty winds in the eastern mountains as well. 10 a.m., the cold front now off to the east, that's the strongest winds dying down here. However, as the thunderstorms develop in the valley, we could see some areas of some gusty winds for parts of the valley Saturday afternoon. All right, Sunday, doesn't look like the winds will be quite as bad. We're kind of getting a break from those winds a little bit. There you can see, of course, just the overall pattern here. This is what's moving through on Saturday. It's a colder air. We've got plenty of rain. We've got snow. That's moving to the east. It dries out for the valley on Sunday, but still some leftover activity Sunday. And then another weak disturbance that'll pass to our north. Valley should be dry on Monday, but the coast and the mountains may see some showers, and the wind will also probably pick up on Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday of next week. But going through next week, high pressure is going to build back in. We're going from low 60s, upper 50s, low 60s in the valley for Saturday to the upper 80s by Friday of next week, and maybe even some 90-degree readings. Crazy. It's that time of the year, right? We see these big temperature swings sometimes. All right, here's what it looks like for the rest of the day today. Low 80s in the valley. Temperatures for the higher elevations in the 50s and 60s, upper 50s, low 60s out along the coast. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. Whew. Low 80s, where it's talking about a 20+ degree drop in the valley. And then it dries out Sunday, and there you can see that warming trend through next week. Now, you've got the chance for showers Sunday, Monday for the coast and all of the mountains, but don't let that deter you from having any outdoor plans. If anything, I think Monday we'll see a better chance for rain than Sunday, quite honestly. And taking a look at your 7-day outlook for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville, yeah, I mean, you've got snow levels getting lower, very low for this time of the year, but we also have the warming trend for everyone as we go through next week.